Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Posterior pituitary gland. The posterior pituitary gland is also known as neurohypophysis. It is composed mainly of glial-like cells called pituocytes. The pituocytes do not secrete hormones. They act simply as a supporting structure for large number of terminal nerve endings from the nerve tracts that originate in the supraoptic and paraventricular nuclei of the hypothalamus. These tracts pass to the neurohypophysis through pituitary stalk, which is known as hypophyseal stalk. Now look at this picture. This is the hypothalamus, and these are the paraventricular and supraoptic nuclei of the hypothalamus. These are actually the neurons which are present in the hypothalamus. The nerve fibers of these neurons travel down the hypothalamus and through the posterior pituitary stalk. These nerve terminals or nerve fibers, they end in the posterior pituitary gland in the form of the axon terminals or the nerve terminals. The hormones of the posterior pituitary gland are actually synthesized in the paraventricular and supraoptic nuclei of the hypothalamus, and they pass through these neurons through the whole length of these neurons and secrete in the posterior pituitary gland near the blood vessels. From the blood vessels, these hormones are absorbed into the blood, and they are then released from the posterior pituitary gland by the process of exocytosis. The nerve endings are bulbous knobs that contain many secretory granules. These endings lie on the surfaces of capillaries where they secrete two posterior pituitary hormones. One is the antidiuretic hormone ADH, or it can also be called as vasopressin, and the other is oxytocin. Now it is very clear in this diagram that neurosecretory cells are present in the hypothalamus. The two hormones, oxytocin and the ADH. These two hormones are synthesized in these neurons in the and they are released in the nerve endings of these neurons. The nerve endings are present in the posterior pituitary gland, and through the nerve endings, from these nerve endings, these hormones are released by the process of exocytosis near the blood vessels. These hormones are absorbed into the blood, and they are carried to their respective organs or the target tissues for their function. Now, ADH is formed primarily in the supraoptic nuclei, and oxytocin is formed primarily in the paraventricular nuclei. Both oxytocin and ADH are polypeptides, each containing 9 amino acids. Each of these nuclei can synthesize about 1/6 as much of the second hormone as of its primary hormone. Now, how the hormones are secreted at the nerve endings. When nerve impulses are transmitted downward along the fibers from the supraoptic or paraventricular nuclei, the hormone is immediately released from the secretory granules in the nerve endings by the usual secretory mechanism of exocytosis and absorbed into adjacent capillaries. Both the neurophysin and the hormone are secreted together. Neurophysin is actually the protein which binds with the hormone, and it is released along with the hormone through exocytosis. But when once the hormone is released, it is separated from the neurophysin. It is actually a transport protein. So after exocytosis, the hormone is separated from the neurophysin, and then it is absorbed. The hormone itself is absorbed into the blood, but the neurophysin does not absorb into the blood. So both the neurophysin and the hormone are secreted together, but because they are only loosely bound to each other, the hormone separates almost immediately. The neurophysin has no known function after leaving the nerve terminal. Antidiuretic hormone ADH. As the name indicates, the antidiuretic hormone has a function that is opposite to the diuresis. Diuresis means the removal of or excretion of water through the kidneys. This is diuresis. So this hormone has opposite action, opposite to the diuresis. It means that it increases the water absorption through the kidneys and it decreases the diuresis of water through the kidneys. So we call it antidiuretic hormone. We can also call it vasopressin. We call it vasopressin. This the name is because of its other function, that is, it is a potent vasoconstrictor, and as it constricts the arterioles throughout the body, so it is also known as vasopressin. So its name is showing the actions of the hormone, that is antidiuretic means it is increasing the water absorption through the renal tubules, and it is an opposite to the diuresis. And the other name vasopressin means that it is a very potent constrictor of arterioles throughout the body, so it increases the arterial pressure. In the presence of ADH, the permeability of collecting ducts and the tubules to water increases greatly and allows most of the water to be reabsorbed as the tubular fluid passes through these ducts, thereby conserving water in the body and producing very concentrated urine. So, ADH has a very important role in the concentration of urine. You must have read in the renal physiology, or if you have not yet read in renal physiology, then you will be reading it, you will be learning it in the coming lectures of the renal physiology, that antidiuretic hormone has a very important role in the formation of a concentrated urine because it conserves water from the renal tubule, and the main site of action of the an ADH in the renal tubules is the collecting duct, late collecting ducts, and the late distal tubules and the collecting ducts. Higher concentrations of ADH have a potent effect of constricting the arterioles throughout the body and therefore increasing the arterial pressure. For this reason, ADH has another name, vasopressin. Mechanism of action of ADH hormone.